Good morning, Service Alliance community. How y'all doing today? Brother Doug,
Good morning, Zach.
what's up,
I
buddy?
feel like it's just going to be you and me today. Live.
Yeah, we got a couple people watching.
Do we really? You
Mhm.
guys are some serious committed people. I'm telling you.
Well, so are we. We're here on a holiday again. We get all the Monday holidays, so we're almost always on a holiday.
Yeah, I actually come to do some reflecting. I don't think I'm usually on most of the time, and I don't even think about it at all, Zach. So I probably owe you a public apology. So thank you for reminding me this morning. And I thought the Service Alliance was on Action Appliance's work schedule that we were off on this day. But I am glad we're meeting up, man, because everybody's sleeping here. Well, I say everybody, but I have two in college now, so it's just my wife and my son. So it almost feels like an empty nest house at this point.
Yeah, my wife's at work and the kiddo's out with her grandparents, so I'll be
It
heading
is
after
party at Zach's house.
Not really, because I'm going to be heading out to do some repairs today because it's the
Oh.
only day that it's quiet and I can
Yeah.
actually get some stuff done without people annoying me.
Morning, Marion. Oh, it's a husband-wife duo today.
Moaning.
Oh, I didn't know Dan was Spanish. That's so cool.
Don't want us to feel alone.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this time you might do reflecting, but I do some reflecting too, right? This is just as much of a therapy brain dump
It is.
for me as it is for you, as it is for welcome to what Doug and Zach do on occasion.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you something, man. The team is growing and we're just trying to, push the envelope in the sense of just being a better company. And what we're going to talk about today is something we've been working on for a while. And it's exhausting. So this is kind of like therapy because you can't really, break that down with your employees because woe is me, Doug. I'm sorry to hear your problems, as they've got it probably, from their perspective, harder than me. And so, whining to people about your job, it's pretty tough. So, therapy. So let me get into the couch mode. Go ahead and ask me questions, my friend.
Well, we're talking about a topic today that you and I have talked about at length, and we really enjoy it. And it's an evolving process. I feel like every time we think we got it somewhat figured out, we just throw that out the window and we have another revision of it. Right people, right seat, building a dream team. What does that look like? Why is it important? How the heck do we start? Why would we even want to try it? Because there's some 1 and 2 man shows out there and they're like, I've tried to build a team before. Screw this. This sucks. I'm not doing it again. Or it is a frustrating process. And it takes some trial and error and it takes some therapy session.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of revision. But the outcome, the goal at the end of it, is just so important. So what is the right people? It's a cultural fit. It's a value fit. They get it, right? So we've talked about get it, want it, capacity to do it. So right people is that they get it and they want it. There's got to be people that want to show up in the right seat, the right role, the right skill match. That's capacity to do it. And so what does that look like? You got to have people with 2 of the 3, but if they don't have all 3, you got to figure out if that's an important thing to you or not. And the reality is you do have to have all 3 for the team to function
For leaders
at its highest capacity. Get it, want it, capacity to do it.
Well, first off, it's mindset. You and me, we know that. So 100% as the owner or the person in charge, you've got to be completely bought in that this is what you're going to do. You can't dabble.
Mhm.
in trying to create infrastructure of leaders, excuse me, on your team. You just can't. It's either all in or not.
Yep.
And my mom, she's passed away now for a few years. And it's probably not fair that I'm not going to give you 10 amazing qualities about my mom. But I'm going to talk about one that one of the sort of, you know, kind of bad habits she had, which was speaking in absolutes.
Mm.
So once she decided something wasn't worth going for, or it was too difficult, as all of us as humans do, we throw an absolute out there.
Mhm.
Like, nah, that's stupid. And then you come up with some reason why it's stupid. And whenever it's presented to you, whenever you see it or hear it around you, and you just shut it down. You just shut it down with this absolute, right? The one that probably was most telling, right, was not going to quit smoking. You're going to die from something anyway. Well, that's what she died from, was cancer. So, now she had grandchildren, right? I'm not trying to guilt my mom. She's in heaven now, but I'm saying, like, we really can't put our heads in the sand here.
Mhm.
So stand bold and proud and say, no, I am going to keep it simple. And this is the way I want to run my business. And I don't want to go down that road of delegating and bringing people in to run it with me. Just be proud of who you want to be, but don't lie to yourself. Don't, throw out an absolute to try to just throw, sweep it
Right.
under the carpet. It's not worth it. You're not being honest with yourself, So that's where we have to start with, is being honest with ourselves.
Well, and towards the end, we'll talk. Um, we'll give some examples from our personal lives of building teams, but before we get into all of it, and before we get to the stories, I just want to say there is such a joy when you begin to build a team the
Mhm.
right way. I've had that experience at church, being able to build the sound team, being able to start to build the video team, really working with the technical team. That is the team that I've had the most success in building. It's been my kind of sandbox for building a team in business, right? Because these are volunteers. If you can do it with volunteers, let me tell you what, you can do it with people that are getting a paycheck too. And so, but there's joy that comes in building the team, that comes in building people up, and talk about it more later. But I want to start there. If you have that absolute in your mind, I'm not going to do it, I don't want to do it, this is stupid, it's not. There is some joy, and maybe you've had a bad experience. I've had a bad experience. Doug's had a bad experience, right? We've been through the rocky portion of building a team, and it can be demoralizing, right? You can just be like, oh man, I don't even want to do this again. um but there's so much joy on the other side of that, when you get to build the team, and these people get it, they want it, and they have the capacity to do it. So
And Zach, you got a you got a whole bunch of books behind you, and we've been, thanks to you, right? I'll always give you credit, my friend. Keep on reading now. Thank you so much for getting me out of that absolute that I can't do it. But here's the deal, man. There's no freaking secret sauce anywhere, man. It's all been thought out. I was telling you offline, excuse me, just went to a convention of window washers and power washing and window cleaning, carpet cleaning, however,
gutters,
yeah,
whatever,
all that
yeah.
stuff, right? Man, like, great keynote speakers, but once again, there's no new nothing. It's never gonna. It's when it happens, I will
Right.
probably advertise on Facebook and let everyone know that this person came up with an original thought, but it's all been figured out.
Yep.
We're all capable of doing it. We don't have to be like some billionaire corporate leader. We just have to take the process and take it at the speed that we're capable of what
Yeah.
we're trying to achieve. But an absolute to say, I just want to be a one man show and wear all those hats until I retire. I'm not sure you're being honest with yourself. And the reality is why are you going into business for yourself? So
Right.
I can have the free time. to choose when to work and not to work. Well, we already know that that's a lie because
Right.
when you're wearing all the hats, you can't.
Yeah, you
And
don't get to turn them on.
when I used to go to ASTI's, my first couple conferences, I'd be out from a breakout room and I'd have like 5 or 6 messages and I'd have to call back people. And man, oh, Zach, I thought I was like the bomb business guy making shit happen in between these
Right.
breakouts. I was terrible, man. The place didn't run without me.
Yep.
That's what the problem was. But I thought I was all that and a bag of chips, which I had to explain to my kids what that means. Because apparently a 90s quote. I thought that was the way to do it. No, man. When you go on vacation, when you go
Yeah.
on a trip, when you do something and it runs without you, that is the mark of excellence there. So let's be realistic. If you own
Yep.
a business, they're at the core of it, you did it because you wanted freedom. You wanted time. You can't do it wearing all the hats. And so we have to be brave. We have to step in those raging waters and we have to be willing to fail a few times and reflect on why and get better at it. Make changes, right? Do things different. Should I just pray so that I stop rambling?
Listen, I think we need prayer because you brought up a great point. Nothing new under the sun. King
Oh, yeah.
Solomon. I mean,
That's right. That's right.
he said it in the Bible. It's been written for whatever 5,000 years.
Yeah, that's a
There's
good point.
nothing new under the sun. So yeah,
That is it.
we need some prayer for this one.
Oh man, Lord God, as you remind us in different places throughout the Bible, in the book of Ephesians, that you knew who each and every one of us were before the time of creation, and you knew who we would be and what we would do. Again, before you even began putting any of the Lego blocks together. So, Lord God, help us fulfill our destiny of your will. Help us become the people, the adopted children of God. Help us with our ultimate mission, which is not $1 million worth of profit, not to be able to sell our business and retire, but to have eternal life with you and to help you by bringing as many people along as we can, by being the light of the world, reflecting your love and your joy and your hope. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So the first point, right, starts with the right people. And what is the right people? It's traits that fit your company.
Can we just get in a quick argument?
Of course.
All right. Before that, imagine finding you're a guy, the hottest, smartest chick ever, and she's into you. You're like 20. If you don't have your life in order, she's going to bail on you 10 minutes after she gets into getting to know you. So you got to know your purpose and your process before you find those right people. Just saying.
Well, you're not arguing because I was going to get there.
Oh,
you're just jumping the gun, buddy.
okay. All right. I thought I heard you say the first thing is the right people.
Well, so let me define it, right? Right people.
Yeah.
Let me define, as the textbook says, what the right people looks like. Traits that fit your company culture, your integrity, your work ethic, your attitude. And so you can see already inherently in that there's a step before this. So red flags, right? Great skills, but bad attitude, me first mindset. And so, as Doug said, you have to have your crap together before you can even begin to build a team. You have to have an understanding. You could be the red flag. Did you know that? You could be the red flag. You could have great skills, but a bad attitude. You could have this me first mindset. And you're already starting off on the wrong foot. And so everyone you attract, everyone you hire, everyone you're pursuing is going to be the wrong person because you are in the wrong mindset. You have built the wrong processes.
Yep.
You have built the wrong culture. And
Yep.
I know that from personal experience. I took over a company and I built it based on what the guy before me did.
Mm.
I didn't figure out who the heck I was or any processes on my own. I just, okay, this is the way we've always done it. So this is the way we're always going to do it. And that's the type of people I look for. And that was the wrong way to do it. So I was the wrong person in the wrong seat at
Mm.
that time.
Yeah.
So you have to start as the right person. And then you can begin to pursue who those right people are. What did that look like for you guys? And I can share from Gordon's, I can share from church as well, but
Mm.
I want to know what it looks like as action is hunting down who are the right people for Action Appliance.
I was I was reminded, because I knew this already. You have to be secure with yourself, by the way.
Mm,
What I'm about to say here is, wherever you're weak, wherever you don't know what you're doing, go hire someone
mhm.
that's good in that way, and plug them in. Give them an opportunity to help build that part of it. But before that happens, you have to know where you're going and where you're heading. And you have to clearly spell out what you want from that person who might be an expert in these areas that you are not. And then all of a sudden, that knowledge base grows, because you could be good at something, but to bring someone on that's really great at it just multiplies that capacity, right? The law of the lid is going to always be a pressure, a downward force on our business. We have these stages of opportunity and growth, and then we become stagnant. And again, it comes down to your attitude. What are you going to do about it? What we could start to speak in my mother's tone of absolutes. Well, I guess this is as good as it gets. I guess that the industry is starting to die off. I guess blank. I guess. How about seek it and go for it, right? So the law of the lid is a serious one, which means you got to find people that are smarter than you, and they're willing to come on and build something great with you.
Yep. And you can raise your lid.
Oh, well, I'm just wondering, would you ever want to go back into the appliance world and start have you ever thought of that, Zach? Because
Starting another appliance company?
I
No.
knew you when
Anybody?
you were at Gordon's, and you and I, you would tell me, I knew it was wrong, but I did this, I said that. And I just feel like discipline is something that you have really practiced and honed while we've been friends for this short few years. I just feel like, what if you jumped back in the appliance world and ran the appliance business?
I
Because
don't know.
your lid has grown a
Yeah.
lot since I've known you.
I mean, as far as leadership goes, yeah, I don't know that I have the passion for doing the appliance repair myself, if that makes sense. I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy sharing experiences. I enjoy seeing people grow, but I don't know that I have the passion to develop a team in that world myself. Mostly because getting into appliance and becoming a technical guy, right? Like it just it was just like I fell into it. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like anything I was hunting down. And so I don't feel
So
like I ever had the real passion.
but the industry of home service in the appliance world, on a scale of 1 to 10, no wrong answer, Zach. And we didn't talk about this, so you have no idea where I'm going with this, right? How passionate are you about appliance repair?
Personally,
Yeah,
about a 2.
2. And
Seeing
there we go. See, there we go. That's what we're talking about. You don't have to be an expert in any way area, and you could actually start a business with a goal to be a great leader.
Yep.
And to build a team. And you can sell widgets.
Yep.
Or you can sell prostitute. No, you can't do that. Or you could do, but if you're not passionate about it, then we begin to, sometimes we just want to, like, I don't know, do we qualify it and try to, you can't hurt my feelings, Zach. The answer is, it's not, and it's going to be an industry that's going to get tougher and tougher as
Yeah.
the industry's changing. So you've got to be freaking pumped up
Yeah.
about appliance repair. Otherwise, when these big curveballs are coming in the next 5 to 10 years, your legacy of being an appliance service business, if it hasn't changed yet, you're in trouble. So I love it. So passion in what you're doing is your number one priority, right?
Well, and that falls into the right seat, right? Which
Yep.
is the next piece of it is that yes, I'm passionate about being a leader, and yes, I have an extreme amount of technical skills. Um, but that doesn't make it the right seat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just appliance repair, leading an appliance repair company was not the right seat for me
Mhm.
because I wasn't the right person for it. Like it was a combination of the two. Yes, I have the skill set. Yes, I can still diagnose a fridge. I can still diagnose a dryer. I can still, have someone tell me, "Hey, my oven's doing this," and I know what's wrong and I know what part they need, but I don't have passion about it.
Right.
It's just like dead eyes behind
Yeah.
me, right? And I can't lead a team in appliance repair personally. Um Because I don't have the passion behind I don't care. Go buy a new one. Go put a
Hey, hey, hey,
you know what I
hey,
mean?
hey,
Like I
listen, hey, whoa, whoa. You're gonna get kicked out of the service alliance for saying stuff like that.
personally.
Oh, oh.
Now, what I have a passion for is watching others
Mm.
grow and succeed and
Mm.
develop and build their teams and fix appliances for their customers. I love watching that. And that's why I'm still so active in the Service Alliance group is because I love watching that. I love our you and I will have a conversation. I was driving down the highway the other day and we talked for 45 minutes on your day off, and I was coming back from the end of my day, and it was just we're just spitballing ideas. How can Doug build his team better? How can Doug find this right person for it, right? And
Yep.
so it's finding that right seat, the skills, the strength, the natural ability for the role. Um, and Doug has talked about this before, and I'm gonna pick on your, needle nose pliers, but it pertains here, right? You were not necessarily the best technician. Could you do it? Yes.
Mhm.
Was it the right spot for you to be as a technician? No. Not not by any stretch of the imagination, right? You were in the wrong seat, but you were the right person for Action Appliance.
You
Uh,
got you gotta you gotta find joy in what you do
yeah.
for sure. Like Dr. Dan and Marion, right? What part of owning a business brings them great joy? If Dr. Dan truly just loved going into people's homes, then you can build your business around that. Just means that somebody has to be doing the things that he's not doing, to make sure that that business is thriving and growing, right,
We
or sustaining it.
My counterpart Mikey and I, we talk about this all the time. He loves sales and he loves going out and helping customers and doing estimates and sitting and doing all the computer work. He's the right person
Right.
for that seat.
Yeah.
I'm the wrong person for that seat. You put me behind a computer, like it's a disaster if I'm behind a computer
That's
because
right.
I get too anxious, but then I can go in the field and I can do repairs and I can teach people how to do repairs and I
Mhm.
can, put shingles on and talk to a customer and, sell them some venting because I diagnosed that their venting is incorrect, right? I'm better aligned
Right.
to that seat than I
Yeah.
am to a position that forces me into the office. And how
Sure.
many times do we force our technicians or our dispatchers into the wrong seat, right? And we're
Right.
trying to make our dispatchers diagnose the appliance ahead of time so that the technician and there
Mm,
might be some dispatchers that could pull that off and it is absolutely the right seat. But if they're not the right person to do that, then it's the
that's
wrong
right.
seat. Right person, wrong seat.
That's right.
And vice versa. If we're asking our technicians to do a ton of administrative work because we don't have a process in place that makes it simple for them to enter the little bit of data that they need to
Yeah.
enter and they can go
Yeah.
on to fixing appliances,
Mm,
we're forcing the right person into the wrong seat. And that comes back to us.
sure. Yeah. And process is so key, right? So EOS, traction. It's a good example here at Action Appliance. I am the integrator, so I'm in charge of all operations and all people and all process. Can you imagine if I had to handle and manage and build and fix all that stuff? I can't. I need a team of leaders. The owner is not good at some of those things. He's good at marketing, loves marketing. So in this accountability chart of owner, integrator, or operations manager, whatever you want to call that, and then the leadership line, there are your areas of your business that you need to stay on top of.
Yep.
You need to have KPIs and measurements so that you know sort of the vitals of your business. So you have service, you have the support side, you have your parts department, you have marketing, you have finance. The owner loves making the phone ring. He loves from a 10,000 foot level looking at the world and going, customer service and experience. Whew, it's terrible out there. What if we did this to be different, to stand out, to wow people? What if we did this? And then as the guy running the show, I'm like, what the heck? Wow, that is huge. I don't know if we can get elephants in Connecticut, if that's possible to have 25 elephants. And, so then I try to help make it happen if it can happen. And I manage those projects. So now the owner is down here in the leadership line. He is the right person at this time in the right seat for marketing.
Mm.
So he has to be present and he has to do his job well. And he's accountable to me because of that accountability chart. Again, I think I hate to pick on Dan because I know Dan enough to say that I bet, I'm going to assume things. Dan loves to teach, that he loves to train technicians. And now I don't know if Dan loves administration, finance,
I,
strategic planning for his
I
business.
can
I don't
speak to
know.
that. He does not.
He does not. So that means, remember, back to what I said earlier, you find people that are smarter than you in those areas and you let it run it. You let them manage that part of the business for you. But let's just go back to what brings you great joy or what might bring Dan great joy. Since Dan can't speak, he said, yeah, I love to teach technicians. It's the greatest thing. It brings me joy and happiness. So the good news here is knowing what it is. Now Dan has to keep on growing and learning, which speaks to Zach's language here. We have to become the best. And whatever worked in 1980, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020, 2030, yeah, Dan hates planning. So that means you guys need to find a planner, or maybe it's you, Marion. And then that means that Dan has to, answer to or fall under you as the planner. But can you imagine if Dan, became like, he's like 30, I think, 30 times 30. No, 30 times. So Dan's a little older than me, just a little bit. But I'm just saying, Dan, if training is your passion, then don't stop learning because there's always something new and become the most amazing trainer. Now you look at Dan and Marion's business, and he could be someone that could scale and grow his company, not to 50, but better and faster than Action Appliance. Our training program, I bet you Dan is the smart guy that Action Appliance needs to create a training program and a training process and a way to hold the technicians accountable. I feel like Dan is the next secret component for A Action Appliance in Connecticut. Dan, if you and Marion want to move to Connecticut, I have a job for you. But I'm just saying that's what we need to do, is not feel guilty that we have to be good at it and that we have to do it because of the seat that we wear. Find the thing you're good at, and then find people that are better than you and bring them on board.
Can fill the seats. Exactly.
Love to see
And
it.
and the trick to all of that is spotting misalignment early, not dragging it out for years like I did at Gordon's Appliance. You got to spot this misalignment. You got to spot the wrong person or the right person, but the wrong seat, right? So wrong person, constant drama, doesn't mesh with the team. They ignore values. That is not a person that you want in the team. That is the wrong person.
Right.
Conversely, it could be the right person, but the wrong seat. So they struggle despite a constant effort. They have
That's right.
repeated mistakes. There's burnout that happens. There's just like this deadness in them, but they're drinking the Kool-Aid, right?
Right.
It is the right person in the wrong seat. So determining these misalignments, you got to do them quickly. You have to be constantly paying attention as a leader to understand if it's the right person or the wrong person. Are they in the right seat? Are they in the wrong seat? And this is going to save you time. This is going to save you money. You're going to have happier customers, happier employees, happier team. Just don't put your head in the sand. Find that misalignment as fast as you can.
Back to the beginning where I kind of jumped ahead on you there. If you don't have a great role explained with expectations, and if you make it 14 pages long, good luck. Why would you do that to somebody? Make it simple. It should be, right, a scorecard almost of measurements. And you check it every single week. You look at it every single quarter. And you'll know, not just by gut feel, you'll know by actual math that you're hitting it or you're not hitting it. And it's not just money. It could be, a grade that you put on something of measure. You got to know your numbers for sure. So to me, a scorecard is pretty critical to being able to know and respond. And so here's a good example, right? I was in 2018 the office manager, the general manager, and the service manager. We made incredible amounts of profit. We ran a good company. We weren't as good as we might have been, but we were running it was a company to be proud of, but it wasn't living up to our expectation. Because can I do it all? No, I can't do it all. So you have to start to settle and let certain things fall by your wayside. Can you ever become world class if you prioritize everything and then the bottom third is just the next level fine dining with the napkin over the maitre d's? Like, you're never going to get there if you're doing it all. So 2018 was great. Now I'll tell you what, for service manager to lead our service team, which for a while now, Zach, I've been calling it our sales team, because we're not warranty, we're COD. So I don't need mechanics. Right. I really don't need mechanics, because a mechanic needs to be able to communicate to the customer. Does it make sense to fix it or not? I have to get somebody that isn't going to grab the customer's purse or wallet and spend their money. There's so many levels of mindset to a technician in the COD world. So I have tried 3 people in that seat to lead our service/sales team. And I've tortured the heck out of 2 of them. I tried to force them into something they weren't, as you were talking about. Right person, right seat. The last one was here for a very short time. You know why? Because when I was showing him his KPI, his scorecard, and saying, how's it going? It looks like we're missing. It looks like we're missing. How many months do you think it takes before that person goes, yeah, this isn't for me. And we move on. So it took less than 6 months, or about 6 months, And I hired someone completely green out of our industry, remote on top of that. I made it really hard. So yeah, try something. So hey, I spent probably over $200,000 and 5 years of trying to force somebody into a role. So be clear about the task. Make the
Well,
process clear but simple. Give them a scorecard and then give them a shot. And the follow through is what's important. This person might still be with us today if I set it and forget it and let him do it
yeah.
his way without scoring and measuring him. I would be over here working on our sales division or our gutter cleaning division, and mediocrity would just come in. So you need to meet with somebody. It doesn't take long, Zach. 30 minutes once a month. How's it going? What seems to be the challenges? Are you going to be able to overcome this?
So you got to spot the misalignment early so that you
Yep.
don't waste all that money. And then you got to fix the misalignment. Is it moving him to a different role? Right? You and I have had conversations about some of your team. Just, hey, is this the right role for this person? Do they fit within this job description?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we don't have a clear job description. Maybe we should work on that first. We've had that conversation too.
Yep.
So, do we move them to a new role before we
Right.
let them go? Right? Is
Yep.
that a possibility? Or is it someone who is just completely the wrong person and, like your last one, had to let it go, right? And so that can turn this problem employee into a key asset
Mm.
if it's just simply a matter of this isn't the right role for them. Do we need to
Right.
create the role?
Right.
Do we already have the role? Right? You got to make that fix early on. How the heck do you do that? Well, it goes back to the beginning. You got to build the system around the principle. You
Mhm.
got to have clear job descriptions. You got to have clear expectations. And that starts with you. What do I want out of the company? Okay, great. Now, what do I need out of people who do these roles that
Mm.
I'm not suited to do? You have to do the regular reviews, the check ins. You got to use EOS or some type of system like that.
Mhm.
Use DISC or personality tests to figure out, hey, is this the right person and what are their role strong suits, right? Um, and the stronger that you make these roles, the stronger that you do this. And no job description is going to be perfect, but you can
Mhm.
have a good solid foundation there. The stronger that you make that,
Mhm.
the more clear that you make that, the easier the growth becomes. When you don't have a clearly defined situation, clearly defined roles, clearly defined goals, roles and goals, you're just going to be fighting.
So
I've been there.
Wait a minute, Zach. Are you suggesting it's all our fault?
Always.
It's always,
Always.
always, always, always our fault. That is not sure what that means and how that affects our psyche. It should inspire you to do things well and remember when it's not going well. The greatest book ever written, The Four Agreements, principle mindset number 4, which is always do your best
Mhm.
and understand that you're best at 20 and 30 and 40. You're best when you wake up with a cold or the flu, or the best when you wake up in the morning and you got beautiful night's rest and you're ready to take on the world. Your best will change from day to day. But if you're inspired to be your best in spite of all that's going on around you, you will have forward moving progress in your life. But it is always your fault. And I feel like that's a great motivator for me, because if something is continuing to fail and I allow it to fail, oh, there it is. I allowed it to fail. If I pick the wrong, how about torturing somebody that doesn't necessarily want that role, but they're the best person in your company? Well, I'm going to make them into that. See, it's always pointing back to us. And so here's the next step in finding good people is you need to delegate it to them,
Mhm.
and you need to let them run it. You need to let them own it, because if you're micromanaging them, then you're not giving them a shot. See, it's still your fault. So you need to be willing to watch them fail without a good scorecard. If you're waiting to find out when there's no money in your bank, that's not the right way I'm talking about. I'm talking about a weekly goal or a monthly goal. If they're failing over and over and over and you catch it, your company won't break. So you've got to be willing to let go. Would you be willing to let go, Zach, in your next business venture when you bring on 5 employees? Have you developed that skill set to be able to give them a clear process role, be their coach, give them a KPI to say, hey, follow, these are the numbers that you own, and I want you to succeed at. They're not always going to succeed. Do you think you'd be a good coach in that way, Zach?
Yeah, if I had a great integrator that could create the system, because I'm not the guy to
Whoa,
create the system.
are you the visionary, Zach, out of the rocket fuel world?
Yeah, I mean, I can create a map of what I want to see
Yeah,
happen. I
yeah.
can coach people within a defined set of parameters, but I'm not the guy to write that down and you know give someone a very clear idea of what that role looks like, right? Maybe I delegate it out to that person to figure out what that
You
role looks
might
like.
delegate it out to Chat GPT is what you should do. Telling
I
you, man.
might.
Every day, our virtual assistant, is he's out there. It's out there. It's going to own
Y-
our business eventually, but
s-
it can
So
get
I
it
mean, the
done.
reality is, I'd like to say yes, I'm 100% ready, but the reality is, I don't know until I try it.
Yeah. Well, I always thought you might be more of an integrator than a visionary, but I think you kind of alluding that you like to imagine what the kingdom would look like, and then again, I feel like you're a coach, Zach. So when you're ready to jump back in, because right now I don't think anyone reports to you.
Nope.
I think you're in sales currently, but
Repair. Yeah, sales
but
and
you,
repair.
yeah, but I think it's you've got the patience. You definitely have the ability to do it.
Well, I mean, so, personal experience, personal stories of learning how to lead a team and growth factor, right? The most successful team I run is at the church, and it really has been just such a
Oh, that's
such
right.
a sandbox
Yeah.
for learning, right? I've had the wrong people in the wrong seat. I've had the right people in the wrong seat, and I've had the right people in the right seat doing things. I got one sound guy right now. He is the right person in the right seat, and
Right.
we're
Feels good,
developing.
doesn't it? Feels
Oh,
great.
yeah, man, and we're developing him into a leader, someone who can teach
Mhm.
and train and grow other sound guys. Um, and that's what I meant by the joy, right? Like, so I watched this guy go from just a grumpy dude. He's only a little bit older than me, but I watch him go from this grumpy dude all the time when he's on to
Mm.
just loving what he
Yeah.
does. I mean,
Yeah.
he smiles and he's laughing and he's,
Yeah.
"Oh, crap, I can't believe I forgot that. Thank you for
Mm.
reminding me," or, "Hey, I'm finally understanding this concept. Thank you for taking the
Right.
time and the effort to teach me this," you know? Um, and so just to watch that growth happen. We had a bunch of old timers that they'd just been doing it because they'd been doing it since the church started, and they did it one way, and all of them were deaf towards the time that I took over, and they were no longer
Mm.
the right person to be running sound because it was just
Mm.
loud and there was things sticking out that didn't sound right.
Well, if everybody's got their own vision of what it looks and
Uh,
sounds like, and then everybody's doing it from their own perspective. So you got to have that unified expectation of what you guys are trying to achieve, right?
right people. They just needed to be doing something else in the church, some
Sure.
other department within the
Yep.
church because they were the wrong person. They were in the wrong seat for that particular job. They couldn't hear anymore. But that doesn't mean they can't be out there mowing or
Yeah.
doing carpentry or,
Right.
whatever else needs to be done, right? And
Yeah.
so just the 15 years of doing this at the church, it's been such a playground, and it's helped develop my own leadership skills, right? It was a sandbox just as much
Mm,
for the pastor. Hey, can I take this grumpy bearded guy and turn him into an amazing leader?
sure, sure.
So it's just
Well,
as much of a sandbox for him as it was for
I,
me.
I mean, with this theme of church life, right? Maybe I can get an amen here, right? The challenge of delegation. Like a lot of business owners struggle to delegate because they might say, I can just do it faster myself. And right, amen, right? I mean, so right there, you've just kind of sabotaged any success that you can have. And then you have to be prepared to be a little frustrated. You ever listen to a call that was just painful, or watch a technician, do something, and you're like, you just, it's so cringy to look at. So you have to be willing to build trust. You have to be willing to lose speed at first, but over time you're going to gain some confidence in that person through teaching, and then you can begin to scale. But yeah, in the beginning, you're going to feel like you're at a standstill as you're watching someone fail. But don't forget, you've been doing it for 10 years or 15 years, and you've figured it out, but you can't just speak it into their existence. You have to bring them along the way, right?
You
And
you know the hardest concept is sitting on your hands
yeah.
when
Oh,
you're
right.
oh my god. I
Amen, right?
so funny stories, right? One of the old timers, and he still comes back and plays in the band once in a while, and him and his wife do other stuff around the church, but he was a sound guy at one point. You go, man, you got to touch everything. You got to tweak. You're just always tweaking on me. Why are you tweaking the things? And it was that learning to let go of
Yeah.
and let it sound bad and just
Yeah.
kind of help them figure it out. I couldn't sit on my hands long enough, and in a
Can you imagine? You hear it, and you're like, you say to them, you hear it? No. Listen, you hear that? You hear the bass? Yeah. Yeah. How are you going to fix that? Meanwhile, it's going, it's playing, right? It is
right,
tough to sit on your hands, but you are developing those skills in them. And it'll feel
yep,
like you're going backwards, but you're really going forward because now you can take a Sunday off and
yep.
not believe that it's going to sound terrible without you, right?
And that's in business, that's the thing, right? Being
Mhm.
able to take that time off and not be at a conference, taking the phone calls and solving the problems while you're thousands of miles away, right?
Mhm.
You have to be able to let go. And for me, it's like, man, I want to take a Sunday off. I'm there every single week. I'm training a new camera guy. I've been the only guy that could do the online stream for the longest time. We didn't have a system in place. We didn't have a process in place. And so I've been building a system and process to train someone else.
Yeah.
If you can't leave your business, if you can't leave your technicians and your dispatchers and your parts people, if you cannot leave them, you don't have the system in place yet. You got to build that system, and then you got to trust them. You got to trust that you put the right person in the right seat because you've
That's
been
right.
monitoring it, and
That's
be
it.
able to let go.
Yep. Yeah.
It takes time. It takes time. I cannot be there on a Sunday, and I cannot worry about the sound guys.
Mhm.
I know that they're going to do it the right way. I know that the lights people are going to do it the right way. I know that they're going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Not quite there with the camera guy yet. We're getting there. But
Right.
but it takes time to build your team to the point where you're like, okay, I can let go of that person.
Sure.
I know that they're going to handle it. I know that they're the right person in the right seat. They're going to do the right thing. And when they do the wrong thing, they're going to come to me and they're going to say, I screwed up. And here's how I screwed up. And here's how I'm not going to screw it up next time. It
Right. And,
takes
and so
time.
you see that, Zach, you're not the answer man. You could be if you're strong in that area, but if you don't have the answer, it's okay. So earlier I asked you, could you ever imagine yourself as a leader starting an appliance service business? you kind of began to talk about, well, I'm not sure that I want to repair appliances, but what we have to understand is I believe you're more of a leader person than a doer person, right? So imagine you're a business owner that loves to do. Guess where you need to fill in those gaps at? You need to bring on a leader, because we are about developing a team, right? So process, as you said, scorecard, accountability necessary, right? And then finding the right people. And that's a full-time job in a way. Is, like, let's say what's your plan? What's your goal? Well, my goal is that I could that the business will run without me.
Mhm.
I just need to be there to oversee it. Then that means that you're not going to be the coach. You're not going to be the builder of leaders. So you have to decide where do you fit in on this thing, because you have a lot of options, but it's going to take time.
Well, and I want to talk about the passion of it too, right? I don't necessarily have the passion to lead an appliance repair company. I have the passion to lead other people that are within the appliance repair industry, but I don't have a passion to necessarily lead an appliance repair company of my own. But does that mean I don't have the passion to run some other type of service business? No. I might have the passion to lead a different type of service business.
Sure.
And so as you're reviewing this stuff, as you're figuring out the right people, the right seat, the right process, figure out if it's right for you. Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's so many people that jumped in at COVID. They're like, oh my God, appliances. Gosh, there's so much money to be made in appliances. And I'm telling you, if you're only doing it for the money,
Mm.
you're in the wrong seat, man. You're just in the
Yeah.
wrong seat.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you can't make money in it, but if that's your main reason for running an appliance business, um, you're in the wrong seat, and you got to figure out what lights you up, what passion you have. Now, if it is, because there are some people that just absolutely love doing this, rock and roll, man. Begin to develop these systems and processes and build these teams, because there is so much joy when you get other people involved in this industry that love doing it, that love helping people, that love serving customers, that love
Mhm.
fixing things and answering phones and all that stuff. There's a ton of joy in leading a team that is
Mm.
functioning well and helping customers in the appliance
Sure.
repair world.
Sure.
If you enjoy it, man, just keep playing in the sandbox and figure out these different principles that we've been teaching all year long, and will continue to teach. It,
It's a good message, Zach. Whatever person you are, the seat that you hold,
mhm,
you do have to be passionate. You do have to be excited about it. Like, I think at this point, right? Started in 1988 fixing appliances. To this day, I am passionate. No, I'm not passionate about appliance service. I have shifted to being passionate about being a leader, a builder of leaders, right? So I feel like it, for me, it doesn't necessarily matter what the business is, other than it has to be something that is sustainable and that could help us. Because if I love to build people up and build leaders, but the industry's dying, well, then there's a fail, right? But I'll speak to you, to all visionary owners. You need to find something that you're passionate about in the business. Otherwise, you're in the way,
mhm,
right? Because everything flows from here at Action Appliance. Jay says it all the time. When something goes wrong, he goes, "It was my fault," because it always starts from the very top,
mhm,
right? So if I were to fail and stumble, and I have KPIs, I have a scorecard. He sees it, but he does nothing about it. If he comes to me later and says, we got to turn this around, what's going on, what's happening with you, and he comes to me 6 months later, he's failed himself,
mhm.
right? So he needs to be we all need to be passionate. And right now Jay is incredibly passionate, and we know that home service industries are here to stay. Until Boston Dynamics gets those robots taken care of and puts on a nice flesh on them, we have opportunities, and it isn't exclusively to appliance repair. So for me, my shift has gone from wanting to be the Maytag man to being a coach and builder of leaders. And that means I need to build a business that's sustainable, that has customers, that gives us a chance to go in their home and knock their socks off and have them say, wow, I can't believe that there's still businesses that do great work like this. You need to call them, right? That's where my passion now lies. It's in building people up. And so definitely, you're absolutely right. That's a long-winded answer to say you're totally right. No matter what seat you are, you need to be passionate about something, and then surround yourself with those tasks. So.
Well, and the amazing part of that is, as your passion becomes apparent, other people are going to catch that passion, right?
Right on.
If you got the right people, you're going to know it, because they're going to get just as lit up in their role serving your customers as you do leading the team.
That's right.
And yeah. So it all starts with you. Again, back to the beginning of the episode.
That's right.
You got to figure it out before you start building the team.
You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to figure it all out. Just get a baseline of things, of your who, what, and why, and what gets you passionate. So maybe as a person owning a business, you're wearing all the hats. Figure out which hat makes you the happiest. And then you slowly and carefully bring people on that are better than you in those areas and hand that off to them. And then you can get it down to that part. That's the goal ultimately, right? Zach, can you imagine if every day we woke up and this would be exciting to me. I get goosebumps sometimes to think about developing a role of a leader of a team in Action Appliance, and then handing it over to them to say, this is ultimately the big picture vision of what we're trying to achieve, to have them buy in and see it, to later have them speak back and say, hey, I respectfully just oppose what you're thinking here because it doesn't align with our vision. That is so beautiful. I was just held accountable and redirected by another person who's drinking the Kool-Aid and wanting to do it, right? So to be able to hand that off, and for me, it's like a God thing, Zach. I don't know if you've ever done this before, to think you can imagine what heaven is like or what God's intentions are for us. He always exceeds our expectations, always. Even in the moment when you feel like he hasn't, it usually means that you have grabbed his will and you're trying to make it your own. But his expectations always exceed us. To give somebody a part of your business and they know exactly what we're trying to achieve and let them run with it, it is goosebumps to see them make it even better than you imagined. Because then that gives you a chance to dream and grow and build in the zone that brings you great joy. If I had to focus on freaking Google and marketing and advertising, I would have already quit this job. I would hate it. So I'm going to find someone that's passionate about it, and they're going to run and lead that thing and hold them accountable. And it's a beautiful thing that we build a gigantic sandcastle with 5 to 10 people. That's what I'm aiming for here. That's what it's exciting for me. But maybe Dr. Dan's going, no way. And he's got hives breaking out on Dr. Dan right now, thinking about trying to live the dream that I have. All our dreams are valid and real. We just, as you said earlier, have to understand, what do we want from our business, and then begin methodically bringing in people to help you get your dream come true. And Dr. Dan, you're probably not listening now because we've been ranting for 2.5 hours. But next time I see you, Dan, if you are listening, I would love to know, because I've got to become pretty decent friends with these guys, and we got to meet at conferences. I'd love to know what Dan what's his dream? What's his goals for the next 5 years? Because those two people are people that I just want to see succeed because I believe they deserve it.
Yep. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You want to join more of the conversation, Service Alliance Group.
Hey, Dan, look at Dan, how loyal he is. A rambling Jay Leno-like appliance guy, and he's stuck around the whole time. Dan.
Love it.
Man, oh, man. If I see you at a conference, I'm buying you dinner and a drink. But we're not dating. I'm just buying you dinner and a drink.
But come and join the conversation, servicealliancegroup.com. We hold monthly masterminds. The next one's coming up while we are at PSA in the end of September. It is expanding your service area the right way. I bet you're going to see Mike, me, and of course, leading it, TK, while we're down at the conference. So servicealliancegroup.com, become an all access member and join with other business owners across the country. Have a conversation. Every month we have a different topic, different teaching session that we go through, and come and join us. And if you want to join us at PSA, appliancerepairconference.com, sign up, get your discount. It is coming up real quick. It is in Las Vegas. We will be there. Found out last night, Doug's favorite friend, Rob Jones, going to be there for Samsung.
Are they giving discounts now for attending this conference if he's going to be there?
Well, we have a discount for, coming and supporting Service Alliance Group because we're teaching 10 classes down there.
Pain and suffering, though, to have to see Rob, pain and suffering. There's got to be a discount for that.
appliancerepairconference.com. Jesse from Hisense is going to be there. My friend Tom Howard is going to be the keynote speaker. Awesome guy. Took a failing business, turned it into a multi-million-dollar sale. So I'm excited to hear what he shares in the keynote. appliancerepairconference.com. Yeah. And you can come and meet Dr. Dan and Marion. It'll be a good time.
While you're there, could you count how many full-length bearded people are at the PSA conference? I'd just like to know what that new percentage is. Because just thinking they might be. Is it like bell bottoms where they come and go, and like, an exposed chin? Is that coming back yet, or are we still full beard? So I'd love to know the numbers.
I wouldn't know. I've had chin hair since I was 16. So
I think I saw a picture of you without a beard. Freaked me out. I gotta be honest.
I might have been 10 years old.
All right, Zach.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
So much, man.
We appreciate you. We'll catch you next time on the Morning Grind. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to the Morning Grind podcast by Service Alliance Group. Subscribe to our channel and make sure you visit our website at servicealliancegroup.com for appliance repair business resources.